characters. I grow them. If you are very interested in how I write, I do a podcast called Writing Excuses. You can Google Writing Excuses. And it just plays through your browser. So you don't have to do anything special. You just go there and push play. And it's me and Mary Robinette Cole, who writes these beautiful books that are kind of like Jane Austen with magic. Yeah, she's good. And it's Dan Wells, who writes these really scary, freaky books, but they're really good. I'm not a serial killer. And it's Howard Taylor, who does Schlock Mercenary, the comic strip. So anyway, Writing Excuses. All of you aspiring writers, it's Hugo nominated. It's very well received. I think you'll enjoy it. And you can look by topic and find where I talk about writing characters, and we'll give you a ton of advice. There's maybe 2 hours of advice on characters you can listen to. Okay? All right. Okay. Your hands up. Go. Have I ever thought about making my creative writing class open? Yes, I have. There's some back and forths here. One thing about the classes, I really do like teaching at BYU. I like being a BYU teacher. I like being involved a little bit in my alma mater. I like coming here. And if I were to make the class open, basically I would have to stop teaching at BYU and go to like a library or something like that. And just do it in an auditorium. And I like the class as it is. BYU has policies that say you have to be a BYU student to go to the class. And that's not something I can influence or change. And so as long as I have it at BYU, it kind of has to be that way. Does that make sense? Now, I've tried to get them to let me record it and put it online for free or webcast it, but they have like requirements and rules that so far we haven't been able to make that work. But Writing Excuses is basically the way that I do my class without doing my class, if that makes sense. So, anyway, I like being part of BYU, and so I've had offers to move to UVU. And I, for now, prefer to remain at BYU just because this is where I went to school. They've treated me really well here, and so. But the class is really hard to get into. I'm sorry, guys. It is so hard to get into. Anyway, okay. In the back, sir. What's my schedule like as a writer with so many projects? Yeah, what I do is I get up really early in the morning, noon. I get up at noon. This is hard sometimes, okay? Maybe once in a while I get up at 11. And usually I write until 5. And that writing I'm interspacing with a lot of email and things like that often and kind of distraction, but it still can be some good writing. Then I go hang with my family. And I then go back to work, depending on the day, at around 8 or 9. And then I work until about 4. And then I go to bed. And usually I'm only writing one book at a time while I'm outlining another, and I'm often revising a third. Does that make sense? I can't do new material usually on 2 projects at once. I can only be doing new material on 1 at a time, but I can be doing some revising on 1, and I can be doing some planning on another. But the truth is I'm much a segmented writer. I work in segments on things, and so like right now when I'm very into working on the Wheel of Time, I'm not usually revising anything else or doing much planning. I'm all gung-ho on this one thing, and then I'll shift modes eventually and do something else. All right, let's go to this side right here. Yes. Tolkien hated allegory. He thought that his stories should just be stories, and I actually feel similar to him. I do have theme in my books, but I let the theme come as an outgrowth of what the characters like to write. Or, hey, like not to write, but I just noticed, hey, how do you think? That's a brain. I let the theme develop by what the characters are passionate about. And certainly there are certain things, you'll read Way of Kings, and what Dalinar is very interested in becomes a very big theme spiritually in the book. But it's not me going in and intentionally writing allegory. I like the story to stand as a story. I'm telling stories. I'm not writing metaphors. Certain people are very good at that. C.S. Lewis did a great job, but that's not what I try to do. Okay, back here.
Okay, I have a short one and then kind of a long one.
A short one and a kind of a long one. Let's do the short one.
How many marks to a Brougham?
How many marks to a Brougham? Peter, dig out the. It's been so long. I thought I had it at 10, but then I think he came to me and said, Brandon, this can't be 10. And so it's actually in our wiki. Hey, Peter, where's Peter? Peter, how many marks from the brome? Is it 10 or is it 25? Or is it actually, yeah. Email Peter, he'll tell you. I have to get back into it when I'm so in the Wheel of Time mode. I'm like, well, to Parva lawn marks and yeah. Anyway. Okay, slightly longer question.
Okay. Have you ever done NaNoWriMo, and would you?
Have I ever done NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month? Yes, I have done it. I did it several times before I got published. Way of Kings, I wrote during a NaNoWriMo, the original of it. I actually wrote a NaNoWriMo pep talk this year. They asked me to, and so if you're doing it, you'll get from me in the inbox telling you, go write the book. But usually I can't do it officially because I'm in the middle of a book, and I can't stop a book and write another one. I will eventually be able to do that, but the Wheel of Time and things have been so demanding lately that my schedule doesn't allow me to in November stop writing, and I'm usually touring in November, almost always, which is really tough for getting 50,000 words. But if you haven't done it, NaNoWriMo is awesome. Okay, hand in the back who's been holding it up very eagerly the whole time. Yes, you, go ahead. I can't even hear it.
Can a drab return?
Oh, can a drab return? A drab cannot return as the returned are known. However, there are things about the drabs which are not completely understood. Yeah. So, there you are. Yeah, but a drab without a breath, it's going to be very hard. How should I say? Yes. Drabs do not return. Okay. Good question, by the way. No one's ever asked me that one before.